Hello, my dolphin friends. Okay, so, as always, I pulled a card to identify who this reading is for. We got the dolphin, and the next set of cards is to help you determine whether or not this is your reading. Okay, dolphin, innately intelligent, healer, light, blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day, and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. That's interesting. When in balance, active healer, strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, underestimates their own power. To bring into balance, like-minded spirits. I assume they mean people, but I could be wrong. Or she means people. Okay, so the bit about a blessing coming into your life is very interesting. Because we have here the box, you will receive a gift. The goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. And finally, money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. I'm hoping for windfall because I don't want anybody to die and I don't want to encourage any gambling addictions. All right. But we do have obstacles. Pay attention to your health and beware of greed. So what are these obstacles to overcome? Are they related to greed and poor health, perhaps? Or? Yeah. So it looks like you've had a lot of positive things going on. That's wonderful. Let's see why are you here? That's always my question. Maybe it's your question. Obviously, it's something appealed to you about the reading, or you wouldn't click on it. But you might not even know what. So, why are you here? Oh, wow. That's an interesting way to start. Your first card out. Heart, love, desire, joy, bliss. So, it says fulfillment, kindness, forgiveness, romance, contentment, passionate, caring. So, there's a lot going on in your heart. One card isn't really enough to tell us anything. That's the way this deck works. Ooh. Wow. That card really wanted to travel. Okay. Ring of Keys. Change of heart, access, opportunities, new beginnings, and recovery. Recovery, that's very interesting. So we were talking about health, weren't we? Right here. And we have recovery here. There's many forms of recovery. I don't know which one applies to you, but that's interesting. I've never seen that one before. Oops, that was the second one. We get a few more cards. Do you like how the way that just flopped itself in exactly the right place? This one I'm talking about. I keep thinking I've got to get a mat because this cloth keeps moving around on me. There we go. All right, dolphin person. It seems love is very much on your mind because we have the Celtic knot right in the middle of this reading. Unconditional love, legendary, divine union, eternal love, infinity, enduring, connected, love of a lifetime. And of course, your first one out is also about the heart. So you really are fixated on a relationship. Around this Celtic knot, we have a quest. On a quest, migration, relocation, dependable. Know where you're going, leaves no one behind, cyclical, faithful. What's really interesting is at the other end we have here uprooted, radical break from the past. So there's lots of movement here. Definitely moving from the way things were to something different. Probably because the way things were, or perhaps are, I'm not sure whether you've made the move yet. There's the desire for it. It may be that this recovery that you are hoping for is dependent on this radical break, this change possibly in location. Again, we have journey, adventure, exit, walk away, self-reliance. But there's still this volatile situation, trouble, hostile environment, stung, danger, discord, aggression, watch out, conflict, anger. Actions have consequences. So it seems you are still dealing with consequences of your actions in the past, of choosing to stay in your current environment. There seems to be a very strong desire for change. And it looks like you're really saving up for this change and keeping it a secret until you're ready. Of course, the question is, what should we address here next? This appears to be the driving force in your life right now. I hope that some of this unconditional love is for yourself, because that's what's really going to get you moving. Once you learn to love yourself, you won't tolerate this anymore. The hornet's nest that you may be in right now, it becomes a lot easier to leave once you love yourself enough to say, no, I deserve better. So, while your major issue, or at least the way you see it, is this Celtic knot, this unconditional love, I think it's important for you to understand how the universe, the divine, however you identify it, sees your major issue. I think we'll go with the archetype cards for that. Well, which archetype? you need to deal with right now, or is most active in your life. The one. The Mystic. All right. Remember, this is the really teeny tiny book. I'm not kidding. Look how small this book is. It's not the easiest thing to read. Okay. 35. There's a song by Annie Lennox, the Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again. I always think of that connection with this card. Okay, the ocean, 35. The unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet, amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells. Saline swells. I think she means oceans. She's being poetic. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. Well, if you have been dragging your feet on this change that you've been desiring, I think you've been desiring it, this freedom, independence, exploration, pursuing your own path. That's this card here. I don't know if that's on screen or not, but so I know this looks like a really big radical change for you. Not that it's not needed, but I'm not saying it's easy. And it looks like you've been really doing a lot of prep work for it. And here we have the ocean telling you, yep, do it. When light, deeper than deep, big dreams, discovery. When dark, subsumed, drowned, polluted, unpredictable. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy, moonlit surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of human experience. Study waves, touch their surface, get in the water. No matter where you live, each drop is part of the whole. The ocean is in every tear. I have heard that there's a lot of similarity between blood and ocean water. All right, next, number 30. 30. We have the one. This is interesting. Non-duality. One love. Unus mundus. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all unconsciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. When light, serves, loves, accepts, resonates. When dark, ignores, omits, excludes. It is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe and that all other mantras are born from it. Simply imagining this possibility will activate the One. The Unus Mundi is a circle representing the unity of existence. Is it possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love? All right. And finally, we have 21, the mystic. Perhaps you're being called to become a mystic, or you already are one. The seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. The mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as a wandering or light-hearted daydreamer. Yet, like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embed it with light. They are patient and prudent change makers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic revels in mystery in the great riddle of life, dancing with the forces of light and dark upon its wings. When light, remover of darkness, visionary, ageless. When dark, expects results, seeks attention and recognition. Like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame, or tapas, within. It may seem that the mystic is inward-facing, yet its light beams back to the world with the strength of 1,000 stars. So, it seems you are being called to deal with your emotions and allow yourself to experience oneness and seek spirituality. That's a lot. All that while dealing with some very, very real and very demanding situation that you are in, because you are in the hornet's nest. That is not easy. You have to step carefully. I could tell you a story about hornets that perhaps you will find sort of maybe amusing, maybe a little more than that. I'll let you find any meaning in it if there is any beyond the amusing part. Some hornets set up a nest in the wall of my house. They set up this nest underneath the doorway into my house. So every time we entered or left the house, we had to step over the hornet's flight path. Hornets do have the capacity to recognize human beings. So most of the time, they left us alone. But we did learn to take care in how we walked in and out of our door. We tried to be respectful and move slowly and smoothly. So, and, not disturb them any more than we had to. So we only got stung a few times. And if you're thinking that getting stung by a hornet is a great disaster, it's not. I know some people have never been stung, which strikes me as odd. They're really not that painful. It's not pleasant, but it's not a big deal either. So if you have a great fear of hornet stings, it's kind of like a dog whose bark is worse than its bite. Of course, it's a sting, not a bite. And it does hurt. But like I said, it's not the end of the world. I think people get very carried away with their fear of stings. Anyway, I will leave you with that thought because you are undoubtedly going to get stung. But that is not the end of the world. You will get over it. And I am wishing you all the best with your plans for your new journey, adventure, exit, whatever it may be. You are clearly taking steps. You are also keeping your preparation secret, trying to be prepared for anything, but there is a risk of miscommunication here as well. We are in Mercury retrograde as I'm doing this reading, so Mercury retrograde is all about miscommunication. Be patient. Make sure Mercury retrograde isn't happening when you decide to really make your exit. I am wishing you all the best.